Yes, the world conforms to your dominant thoughts. So it is really, 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 really important that you become aware of the thoughts going on in your mind. And so, it's funny because when I work with clients one-on-one, I always see this. There's a reluctancy to do the affirmation work. Now, the reason why I often assign affirmation work to almost every single client is because what we don't realize is that on a consistent basis, we always have some sort of thoughts going on in the background in our mind. Most of us are just not aware of it because it's our autopilot program. So there's always some sort of thought that keeps going on and on and on as we're navigating our daily life, but often they're not thoughts that actually serve us. Usually they're self-limiting beliefs, they're insecurities, their inadequacies, their stuff that we picked up from our childhood, all of this stuff, all the reasons why we can't and we won't be able to accomplish the things that we want in our lives. And so when we start to wake up and we start to become conscious beings, we realize that, oh wow, we can actually start to get a hold of this little voice that is inside of our heads, because not only does it create most of the suffering in our lives when it's negative, but it also creates the image that is on the screen of our lives. Because as I say, the subconscious mind is projected into our physical reality. So whatever we begin to see, hear, and feel within, we are going to see, hear, and feel without. And this is, I guess, the idea of inner conversations, as I believe Neville Goddard talks about. There's so many different ways to go about this, but the reality is that whatever we're dominantly thinking, our dominant thoughts are going to be manifested in our physical reality at some point. Now, there is a bit of a delay. So if I start affirming that I'm going to manifest a yellow boat, I may not see the yellow boat today. I may, right? I may just get lucky enough and I don't have enough resistance to that yellow boat, but often it takes a little bit of time. There's a little bit of a buffer, which is good because it works to our advantage in regards to the things that we don't want. It gives us a little bit of time to say, okay, wait a second, is this really what I want? Because again, our dominant thoughts are going to manifest at some point. So really, whatever we choose to focus on is going to be a part of our existence. So it is really important to become aware of those underlying thoughts that we have, those little thoughts in the back of our mind that we don't say out loud, but we do say inside. And the universe hears everything that you say. The universe is hearing every little thought that you have with yourself. And, often people will outwardly say, I'm going to be successful, or I'm going to heal my life, or whatever it is. But internally, they're telling a different story. And the truth of what you're telling inside of yourself is going to be what you're living. So again, as a spiritual coach, no one can really get anything past me in that sense, because whatever you're seeing in your reality, whatever successes you've created or whatever limitations you're still trying to overcome is just revealing your internal programming. And so whatever you're thinking most dominantly, yes, is going to manifest. And there are no limits. I've been saying this from the beginning of the channel, that you can be, do, or have anything. I also always put in that note that not everything is going to maybe make you as happy as you think. So just be aware of that. Sometimes we're not necessarily rooted in our authentic self when we're reaching for desires, but you can be, do, or have anything. There's really nothing that is off limits. So if you want to be super specific, you can be as specific as you want. Truly, there's no limits, because the limitations that we experience when it comes to manifestation are the thoughts and the concepts that we have in our own mind, usually based on past experiences that tell us why we can't. And it's not even true. It's just a program that we have. So any program that we put into our mind, we're going to be able to experience that physically. But I think the problem is believing that, right? So that was the other point that I wanted to make about this, is that the reason why I believe, things like inner conversations, stuff like that, people aren't necessarily seeing the results is because, first of all, people aren't really trying it. So there's kind of this, resistance to changing your thoughts, right? Maybe you change one or two thoughts, but that's not enough, right? Because it's your dominant thoughts The world is going to conform to your dominant thoughts, not your one-off thought, not the thought you just have one thought and then all of a sudden, most likely it's just not going to manifest like that. You're not going to have one thought and it manifests. But the thought that you keep programming into your subconscious mind day in and day out, which is often overriding old programs that don't serve you, will eventually manifest. And for those of you who, watch these manifestation videos and you hear people talking a lot with this kind of conviction of this, is because they've seen the results themselves, right? I myself have been doing this work for a long time. I picked up my first Law of Attraction book when I was about 15 years old. And so it's been another 15 years that I've been actually applying this work and seeing how time and time again, your thoughts create your reality, right? And my thoughts can create a wonderful reality, but my thoughts can also create a very negative reality if I let my negative thoughts, spiral out. And so that's why I make these videos like this as a reminder that, if we don't get a hold of our thought process, if we don't get a hold of our emotions, if we keep, becoming super reactive to everything in life, then we're always going to feel like a victim. We're always going to be stuck in lack-based consciousness, and we're never going to truly be able to direct our lives. And so it is really important to remember that you are in the power seat, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel like that because often our emotions have such a hold on us, our negative emotions, but you really are in the power seat. And this right here, this thing that you use all the time is so, so, so powerful. And when you can get a hold of that, you can really, truly change your life. So I hope this video could act as motivation. Keep in mind, the universe conforms to your dominant thought process. If you guys are wanting assistance on your spiritual journeys or your manifestation journeys, I do have a 6-week coaching program. So it's set up in a way where we have 6 specific phone calls, and then you get to chat with me in between those 6 weeks as often as you want. And what is great about this is that while you're applying the work, while you're doing the manifestation work, the spiritual work, the self-love work, when issues arise, because they will, you have the ability to reach out and we can work through the problems specifically, because I understand that there are going to be things that come up. There's going to be confusion. There are going to be times where you're having doubts or you're not believing, or, you're starting to see evidence of something, but then something goes wrong. And so that's a great time to, use the chat. We can work together one-on-one and really strengthen your own ability to do this work. So that way, after the 6 weeks, you feel confident in yourself to be able to walk away and say, yes, I can do this. I can apply this and I can create a life of my dreams. So if you guys are interested in that, the information is going to be down below. In addition, I do have amazing online courses on a multitude of topics, so that information will also be in the description box. All right, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.